We are live indeed, campeones. We are back with another churros after match day 17, which saw both the Blaugrana and the Hwites pick up 3 valuable points to maintain the lead for Barça at 4 points. The question is, has it restored calm among the Hwites? Let's get into it. Well, Kian, it seems that my question has been answered. I just wanted to check out, get a latest update of the front pages of the digital newspapers here as with the titular, with the title, La Duda Continúa. The doubt continues, with the picture of a very concerned looking Xabi Alonso sitting in the dugout in the game against Alaves. So I guess we can end it here. This was great. Tune in on Thursday for the Patreon edition.
What are we gonna do? Just not talk about it until he gets sacked? Is that what you want to do?
Is that kind of the sense? I was wondering if this sort of bought him the time, at least to finish off the year with some sense of calm, some stability, although those might be big words at the moment that don't accurately characterize or describe the situation that continues to be lived among the Blancos in the locker room. In a game against Alaves, my man, that I sat down to watch with the full intent of watching the 90 minutes, my body could only bear the 45 before I was knocked the out.
Really?
I was gone.
I would have
And
thought you would have been invested in that because there was a chance that Real Madrid would have lost that game.
well, I mean, yes. It was not impressive. Let's put it that way. I would say the footballing spectacle.
Right.
Although
That's why I thought it'd be more incentive for you to watch it.
I just couldn't. I mean, I would have had my body had the energy to actually sit through the entirety of the match, but I just couldn't, man. I couldn't. I missed the second half, only to open up the newspapers earlier this morning to find out that you guys managed to pick up a 2-1 win.
Bullshit.
Unconvincing.
Bullshit. Like you're not there
Unconvincing.
checking your phone every 2 seconds to see if we drop points.
My man,
Don't
I just
lie.
told you that
Don't
I
lie.
fell asleep.
No,
I
you
just
didn't. No, you can't sleep at night. You can't sleep at night not thinking about us constantly. You're checking that score all night. Don't lie to me.
I'm sorry
I'm
to
not buying
disappoint.
it. Not
I'm
buying
sorry
your
to
shtick.
disappoint. No,
Not buying your nonchalant,
I,
I
I,
don't care shtick.
I,
Obsession.
I did care. Of course, I want you. I'm obsessed with you guys losing. Absolutely, it would have brought me more delight. I wish you would play more entertaining football so I could actually stay awake. But it was not impressive, man. It was. I just couldn't bear through it. And it seems that the majority of, I would say, I guess, the big takeaways of the references among the Madrid circles would agree with my general assessment that it wasn't a great game, and that the doubt continues. I guess. I mean, like I just said, I wanted to have a quick look at the pages. So the doubt of Xabi Alonso, whether or not he'll be sacked before Christmas, remains. Barça, we're playing Guadalajara tomorrow in the first round, or at least our first round of the Copa del Rey. I understand that you guys will play on Wednesday. And then, of course, it's the last match of the year, the old decisive match, I would think, at least for whether or not Xabi Alonso will make it to coach a match in 2026. That one against Sevilla, while we play Villarreal in the Yellow Submarine game that could have been played in Miami, of course.
Oh, is it that one?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think we're at a stage now where it's kind of like we're the buy time stage, where
Yeah.
it's get results, squeak by,
Hmm.
because it's, as you said, it's not convincing. There are many doubts. I think there was still, despite the win last night, there wasn't much encouraging stuff to take away other than stuff we already knew. I mean, Mbappe is crazy good. Bellingham continues to be one of our best players, if not the best, most important player right now. We did have a
That's an
million.
interesting take. Hold up. More than Courtois or Mbappe, you're putting Bellingham in number one spot.
I would put them in the table together. Yeah. Um, but we did have a million injuries. We did have Valdepena starting at left back, and I'm kind of glad Xabi Alonso went that route instead of playing players out of position at left back. It's we've been calling for us to use the academy as much as we can. Um, it's still not. It doesn't feel like a unit. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
It feels like a lot of just individual brilliance and moments that come by to get these results. And I don't think we don't. But there doesn't feel like there's collectiveness. There is some kind of, I don't want to call it fake, but it feels fake in some sense. But like, you get like some kind of fake unity that comes with all the hugs
Yeah.
we score and stuff like that, which is great to see. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't hug. If it were up to me, we would be hugging all day. But you still haven't seen that like translate into like this collective unit and the trajectory that the team was on earlier this season. But my stance. I still say like I think we have to stick with the project and be patient with it.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, the season. You said, I mean, does he make it to Christmas? The one I circle more than Christmas is actually the Supercopa de España.
So the year kicks off actually with La Liga returning. We have a derby. You guys play Betis, and then it's the Supercopa. So there
Right.
is still that little hurdle before the first trophy wear of the season, I guess, is at stake. I sense that you feel like that will be the ultimate test for him.
From a difficulty of opponent perspective, yes.
Hmm.
That will be our toughest. The game against Atletico, January 8th, is our toughest opponent. And then potentially, if we win that, then of course it's Barca in the final. So that's a difficult stretch. And I mean, like, to me, even though I'm in the camp that like we need to let this project blossom and it might take time and you got to be patient with it. To me, also, there's another side of me that's like, if you haven't figured something out by January, I mean, come on, guys, come on.
Mm.
You've had a now like half a season runway to test things out and to implement your ideas. And I still don't believe Chabi is fully implementing his ideas. That's basically like half the problem, if you ask me.
Hmm.
But by January, you have to know either way, like where you're headed.
So I mean, I like I said, I watched the first half. I was not hugely entertained, but I'm looking at the full statistics now in terms of XG. Madrid getting the upper hand, albeit by a slight margin. I'm looking at clear chances here, 3-2 for the home side. Actually, in
Yeah.
terms of shots, you guys double their shots. It looks like. Also, when it came to actual stops being made, Sivera had 4 as opposed to was it Courtois? I think Courtois
Yeah.
was involved.
Courtois had to make two massive saves.
I saw the one with his face,
Yeah. And then he had another one too. He had two
but
huge saves.
I guess what I'm alluding to here is also given my impressions of Alaves when we faced them not long ago.
Yeah.
Are we hugely underestimating these kind of sides that you know we often are kind of like, oh well, these are just mid-table tier teams, these are
Yeah, of
humble
course.
teams, we gotta
Yeah, of course.
just easily
That
beat them.
that comes with the nature of the beast. I mean, when you're
Yeah.
covering Real Madrid and Barcelona, it's never about what the opponent does. It's about what you did wrong. And
Mm,
unfortunately, that's the name of the game that these other teams play. They don't will never get credit for anything. If they win, it's because Barca or Real Madrid sucks. If they lose, well, that's expected. Um, so that's unfortunately what happens. But there are obviously like other good teams in La Liga. I know what it's not. I know it's not what it used to be, but a lot of these teams have actually played both Real Madrid and Barcelona pretty well this
mm.
season. So that part is true, but of course, like the other side of it is like, when you have a team with these people on the field on paper, it should not be as contested as it is sometimes, and that's the reality. Like that's the way I look at it. When you have such an expensive squad on the field,
Mm,
there just should be it should not be as stressful as it is.
yeah, yeah.
And I get
No,
it, like,
of
you
course.
face low blocks, that's never easy, all that stuff. Like I get
Hmm.
that stuff. But generally
Mm,
speaking, this is also like why Real Madrid has looked much better on the eye test when we have to play against teams who give us space. That
yeah,
goes without saying.
yeah, yeah.
That's why the cities and the Barças in a lot of ways are just kind of easier for us than these games.
Hmm. Hmm. It's yeah, I agree 100% what you're saying. That's always the case. I think it's these kind of teams with a fraction of the budget. In the case of Real Madrid, of course, trying to play to their strengths by any means, and are often tougher to beat, especially when it is at their home ground. But you would assume, of course, that with the firepower, the star, the talent, the sheer talent that the Madrids and the Barças have, that these should be games where you at least bag the 3 points in somewhat of a convincing manner. Now, you highlighted the kind of forced hugs that we saw
I
take
don't think
place
they're
in the
forced.
substitution as
I think
well.
they're real,
Mm,
but like I'm just saying that while it's nice to see, what we really care about is like what we're doing on the field from a production standpoint. Is all I'm saying.
yeah. But don't you think that at this point in time, that's the order? I mean, the last thing you would want to see is the opposite, meaning a goal being scored or a substitution taking place and the cold shoulder still being turned towards
Of course,
each other like that. Yeah. So
of
it kind
course,
of comes with
but
the
the way I
territory.
would put it is, I think it's the bare minimum. It's
Yeah.
like you have the bare minimum is like some. The thing is, like, the standards got so low, Diego, that we started to praise effort. Like, yes, that's a starting point, but like that can't be. It's good. I'm not. Effort is obviously a great thing. You need effort. Don't get me wrong. But when you start praising effort as the main thing, that means actually like there's some other problems here. Like, because you're never getting effort, so when you do get it, it really stands out. And look at Diego. Like, I brought this up last night on the post game show. The Celta Vigo game, we didn't start trying to play with intensity until we went down a man and a goal, and we're like,
Mm,
oh shit, oh yeah. Yesterday we were, apart from a couple players, we were virtually sleepwalking. And then Alaves scored the equalizer, and then we started to play with intensity. That is
mhm.
not, you cannot flip that switch like that. You got to do that from the beginning.
Of
There's too
course.
much apathy, I think. There's too much apathy.
I mean, that was one of my big criticisms as well of Barca so far this season was the lack of intensity and urgency and willingness to play the
Rafinha
type of
has helped with
football.
that tremendously.
And Rafinha, man, his return has been so key, so
Yeah.
key. He's that leader that I think Real Madrid are missing to also get the other players on the same page and engaged at all time. Of course, he's coming off of the brace in the game against Osasuna, a game that was tough, perhaps again tougher than expected. Although Osasuna, especially at El Sadar, this one was at the Camp Nou, but it's historically always been a tough nut to crack. I don't know what you saw of the game, if you saw this entirety. It started off with kind of two back-to-back disappointments where I believe we should have gotten a penalty call in our favor that was waved off very, very quickly. Again, the replays, I think, leave little doubt. Then there was the goal that was rightfully disallowed, albeit it came from a corner where it was between Lamine and Rafinha, and I think Rafinha was eventually offside. Lamine basically passes it back to Rafinha, and the margins are very, very thin. So thin, actually, that the replay, the AI digitally made up image doesn't show exactly the other player that is playing Rafinha offside. So we'll have to take their word for them. But eventually, the goal went in and it was ruled for an offside. I have no arguments or any bones to pick with the system, other than I would like it to be more efficient and a lot more clear as well. But so it did kind of mean that Barca had to, keep their form and keep that intensity that we're talking about, where eventually Rafinha, thanks to quite a brilliant solo effort, quite frankly, put the first goal in with a good long range shot from out of the box. And we had to then kind of suffer through. I think from the eye test, it was clear that there was one team dominating when it came to possessions, when it came to at least taking the initiative and taking the ball to the opponents and trying to get something going. It wasn't an evening where we enjoyed having many chances on goal. Quite frankly, I think there was only 2 shots on goal where Herrera had to make a save. Oh, actually, here SofaScore's showing 3 shots on goal. So it was near 100% efficiency with the 2 shots going in from Rafinha. Again, the last one in the dying minutes, I think it was like the 88th or near the 90th minute, where we were finally able to breathe a sigh of relief. But I say all this because it was a match where it wasn't comfortable. But if I compare it with what I see from Real Madrid, again, at the moment, momentarily, the way that these two teams are playing, from what I saw from the first half and from the 90 minutes the night before in the Barça Osasuna game, that there is quite an apparent shift in not just, I mean, momentum, intensity, yes, but I would say confidence as well. Like, the players out there with the leadership of a Rafinha, Pedri now being back as well. I feel like, things are now clicking again, where I'm confident in that we are going to see, knock on wood, obviously, and health permitting, this team in the next year continue to improve. Whereas with Madrid, there still seem to be a lot of doubts and lingering sort of issues there that, it's up to obviously Xabi Alonso and his technical staff and the players, how they will come together and actually fix those things.
I think it'll flip again. But I still don't see either of these 2 teams being good enough to. I mean, obviously one of them is going to win the league, but I don't think either of these 2 teams are among the elite right now. Like, I don't.
And that's fair. And I'm talking domestically, of course.
Yeah.
In Europe, so far we've failed our tests, big tests at least. The last one being against actually Eintracht, but I'm talking the big test against Chelsea. That was a quite a horrible game to endure at the Stamford Bridge, where we just got dominated from start to finish. But I don't think that we would see that game again. I don't think that we would with the return of this version of Rafinha. We could lose, and more so playing away against a team like Chelsea. But I don't think. I think this team is going to continue to improve. I genuinely do believe that. And if I have to sit here and say, do I think that we can compete with Europe's elite, with the QSGs and the Chelseas and the Arsenals? I think I would put my whole heart behind at least the intention of this team to compete. Whether or not we would win, that comes down to the footballing gods. But and I'm not neither saying that we're playing at that level that these teams are playing currently, and I have to include Bayern in that as well, of course. But I think that once the Champions League returns, I want to believe that this team will be better prepared for it as well. Much like Hansi Flick said in a post-game press conference, where he said, we will improve. This team will be better throughout the second half of the season.
Okay. I'm not going to fight you on that. I'm still skeptical of both these teams, to be honest. But
you don't think that we will improve?
I think you're better with Rafinha. I think he helps definitely with a couple of things. I mean, one is he helps with the offensive production, but he also helps the first line of defense, and he doesn't solve the back line and the amount of space they concede, especially without Inigo Martinez, but he does help shield the first line of defense at least. I also think like it tends to happen when you are so reliant on like one individual, and this is the case for Real Madrid as well. Like, you take Mbappe out of this team, the team is I don't know how a goal isn't arrived, but if like what happens if he gets injured again? What all these things like I don't.
Mm.
I also think Barcelona are not that deep.
Mhm.
Um, so it really depends on who stays healthy. But you could say that about most teams. So it's not really a Barca thing necessarily.
And
Do you
I
think? Let me
wanna I
go
just
ahead.
want to highlight. I mean, you mentioned Rafinha's effort on defense, and we have to also mention Lamine Yamal, a player that gets little to no credit when it comes to his
Oh,
defensive
come
effort
on.
for
Lamine Yamal doesn't get credit. I've heard it all.
his defensive effort
Poor Lamine. Someone get
for his
this guy a
defensive
PR
effort.
agency. This guy gets
4 point
no credit.
4.6 balls recuperated. I think it's actually, let me be accurate, 4.2 in La Liga, 4.6 in the Champions League combined. I don't know the average. Let's just say 4.4. Okay, on average in all competitions, balls recuperated per match. You combine Mbappe and Vinicius, and they don't match up to what Lamine does by himself
That I believe
on the
that.
defensive end.
I haven't seen the statistic, but I do believe that. I can see that with my eye test.
Mm.
Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, do you believe? You talk about Barca improving. Do you believe Real Madrid can improve? The question is like, could it actually get worse, or is it
Mm.
is it possible to get worse, or it's only one direction and that's up?
Do I think you've hit rock bottom, basically?
Yeah, I mean, like, could it? I don't see us really playing any worse than we are now. I don't. It would be
I
like
mean,
these
the result,
performances are genuinely shocking. I can't like
yeah.
it's really hard to watch.
I think result wise, things could still get worse. And
Hmm.
I do see, but maybe not. I mean, I think this display of kind of unity does count for something. So there could be a case where Madrid continues to grind out favorable results, continue to keep up the chase, assuming that Barca win their matches as well, and come at the end of the season, another Clásicos at play. It's only 4 points the difference. The title race could go to the very end. Um, and then again, we'll have to just wait and see what the footballing gods decide in terms of who picks up the trophy. So I don't think it's a completely a lost case. I think it's harder to make the case for Real Madrid at the moment than Barca, based on what we're seeing, how this team is playing football at the moment. Um, you're gonna face teams that could exploit the frailties, the confidence, the lack in unity when it comes to the press, whether it's offensively or defensively as well. I think Madrid is right now struggling besides the injuries. Um, it's really, you mentioned Mbappe. My question is, what would this team look like without Courtois?
Well, on some level, if Courtois, God forbid, if anything ever happened to him, we do have sample size that Andre Lunin is probably the best backup goalkeeper in Europe.
Mm.
And I mean, couldn't you think of someone better?
No, I just have to laugh. It's because,
Why?
because it wasn't long ago you were talking Guller as the best playmaker in Europe, and I think
Statistically
those,
speaking, he was.
but not anymore.
Well, no, I mean he's not. He's coming off the bench in a lot of games. Bellingham is now like kind of taking the lead role in that department, but it was not a. It's not a laughable prediction.
Hmm.
How many assists does he have? Even still.
Gully? I don't know.
Anyways, derailed. What were we talking about?
This team without Thibaut Courtois.
Right. I mean, Lunin
And
is.
that's true. Actually, Lunin has impressed. What he played against? Was it Olympiacos? Where did we see him in action quite recently?
It was one of these games, and I don't remember which one. but it was one game. So, and he was very good in that game. I don't know why I'm drawing blanks on which game it was now.
He was
Um,
good. No,
it
I
was
do
a,
remember
I think it
that.
was a Champions League game. So maybe it
I
was
think so.
Olympiacos. Yeah. And then of course we have that year there were Courtois, Torres ACL, and Lunin was our goalkeeper, and we won the
Mm,
double.
mm,
But I mean, the Mbappe thing is like, I mean, we saw it against City and Celta Vigo. Like Celta Vigo, he played, but he didn't score, and it's like, okay, so who's going to step up and help? Against City, he wasn't there at all, and nobody stepped up to score. So you can got your answer there, but I mean, I think the path. Let's talk about like a realistic path for Real Madrid to improve. I think it's the team gets healthy. One of the like underrated things is that Trent has not played this season. When he got back from injury and he started playing, the team's dynamic changed completely. Like his ball progression and his long range passing, his ability to pick out Mbappe and Vinny making those runs behind the defensive line, it was incredible to watch. And then just as he was getting momentum, he's gone again. Obviously the Militao injury is horrific. And I don't like I should just feel bad for the guy. 2 ACLs. One ACL, he comes back. Another ACL. He comes back. Starting to be great again. 4 months injury.
yeah.
It's frustrating as hell. I mean, like so the path would be like if everyone can get healthy. Which thing like even like saying that, it's like you almost know that no it's not going to happen. So how can I even count on that? Even if players would come back, someone else is going to get injured. And so that's a perpetual problem that Xabi Alonso is going to have in this with this team. But the path is like if the key players get healthy, we get some rhythm, we get some continuity finally, and if we can just keep building, the biggest variable here is Vinicius.
Mm,
He was horrendous against City. He was really bad yesterday up until the 70th minute, where he had two plays which were just mind-numbingly beautiful. And like you're like, oh, so if we get that version of Vinicius, his team is different, man. But if we get the other version of Vinicius, the floor gets pretty low. Because if he has to be on the field because we're hoping for a moment of magic, then he has to bring other things to the table. If he's not able to beat defenders, he's got to press more. He's got to play some great defense. He's got to set up his teammates. He's got to be better with his shooting and his efficiency. But then, like, the question is, like, why did Xabi keep him on the field, keep him on the field? And he kept him on the field, and then he had a brilliant assist to Rodrigo, and then he should have had a penalty that wasn't called. Shocking. La Liga refs have been terrible for forever, and they continue to get worse before they get better. But that's a huge variable. What version of Vinny do you get from game to game? I mean, that's a big one.
yeah, the assist was nice. You mentioned Vinny for obvious reasons because there was a point in time where he was a elite football player. That version of him has left him since. Aren't you
It
more
comes.
hopeful to
Go ahead.
get Rodrigo going now that he has had some games where he's scored consecutive goals? It seems like he's got the wind under his sail. Aren't you more favorable to kind of even try to shoehorn him on the left side and try to get your boy Mastantuono, who had seemingly one brilliant minute? He got substituted in yesterday, but yeah, get him going, or Brahim, whoever it is on the right.
Brahim is a no-go for me. Masantuono, I am genuinely in love with that guy because of his effort, defensive effort, and how much he presses and I can just he's very raw, but he's fun to watch, and he brings really good infectious energy to the team. I hope he can build on get on that 1 minute last game. Chabi's explanation has been that he hasn't been match fit, but he's going to reintegrate him slowly. The idea of Rodrigo starting on the left or Vinny with Masantuono on the right and Mbappe down the middle, if you had suggested that in September, I would have said that's realistic.
Mm.
But I think Xabi has come to the realization that he's not able to bench Vinny anymore, so that's not happening.
Mm.
The second, I want to make a point about Rodrigo. I'm genuinely happy for him in these last 2 games. Against City, he was awesome. Last night, he wasn't as good as he was against City, but you got to give him credit because he worked really hard defensively last night. And then he eventually got his goal. That matters to me. Like, if you're not having offensive production, you really, really have to bring hard work to the table to make up for it. And he did that. I'm just skeptical because Rodrigo historically is a very streaky player.
Mm.
Like, he'll go on streaks of scoring
Mm.
and then like streaks of nothing. So I don't know where we are in the Rodrigo stage of his season. He probably just started the streak, but it doesn't erase from me how bad he was like for almost 2 years before that. The other thing is, like, I don't think the idea of benching Vinny also is not like we don't have an abundance of options that you think to yourself like, yeah, like that guy definitely should start. We don't really have anyone in the team that's like that right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
it's Brahim doesn't inspire.
Mm.
Rodrigo, you never know. Masantuono obviously is on the other side. You could put Gonzalo or Endrick. Those are your options.
And Drake, seemingly just for 2 more games because he'll come January. He's off to Lyon, correct?
I don't know for sure, but that's what's being reported. Yeah.
Mm.
Um,
Would you right now take Angelotti back?
no, no. Last year was even worse than this. And Xabi has the exact same team as last year. It's it was very clear last year's team had problems. Xabi's inherited a team that has a lot of bad habits. He is trying to rewire all these guys. It's hard for him to do so. The only player that Xabi has this season that Carlo didn't have was Carreras.
Well, no, and Hauser and
Not playing.
Mastantuono and
Not playing. Injured. Trent injured. He had Masantuono for a couple months to start the season, and he was winning all those games. So, anyways, my train of thought on this was that if Real Madrid are to get back on track, they need health, they need continuity, they need rhythm, they need, and I think the biggest change, which looks like it's happening better than it was earlier this season, is the players finally realizing like it's their fault and not Xabi's, and them taking ownership of the situation and taking responsibility and starting to give a damn and starting to listen to what Xabi wants to do for the greater good.
Mm.
That's where the turning point has to come. You know what? We spent the whole last couple of weeks just talking about Real Madrid, and this is exactly what Barca wants. Nobody's
lovely.
talking about Barca now.
Well, not in bad terms. I mean, Florentino Perez is. You can't keep our
As he should.
name out of his mouth.
As he should.
As he continues to also whine about referees. It's unbelievable.
He's not wrong. I mean, I don't love the whining necessarily, but it's been really bad. It's been really bad.
Yeah. It's
Also,
been one of those other teams.
any thoughts on Osasuna's disallowed goal?
Thoughts on the disallowed goal? There was the push, right?
Koundé fouls the Osasuna player who falls and into Jean Garcia, and Osasuna score.
Yeah.
Osasuna get called for a foul when it was Koundé who fouled him. That would have made it 1-1, I believe.
I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, come on. I love this. Like when it was a Rafinha offside and where the lines are, you have it right off the top of your head. You know it. But if something else happens that favors Barca, you got to look it up. You got to do your research.
I mean, can I not? Vamos a ver.
I mean, I just like you should know this off the top of your head as well. I can send you the link in the
No, I
private
got it.
chat.
We got it.
Well, you're
It's
probably looking at the Zona Blaugrana angle.
there's no push or shove from Koundé. It's two
Oh, there we
players
go.
that are running for the ball. There's no push. They get tangled up. And the player drops and takes out Joan Garcia. I don't see an issue with this. You look at the
Look,
images and tell me where Koundé is committing a foul.
I'm gonna send you the angle in the private chat. We can't look
Okay.
at it together for copyright reasons.
Okay.
We also have a couple super chats which we have to get to, but
Okay.
I also wanted to ask about Laporta's court appearance.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious to get your perspective on it. Are you, or do you want? Let's just tackle this first, one thing at a time.
Have you sent it?
In the private chat, yeah.
No. Okay. Hold on. Let's see. Got it.
This silence
I
makes
don't.
much more sense if you're on YouTube watching our facial reactions.
I don't see where this is a foul.
Okay.
It's involuntary. You agree? No. You see a foul.
Involuntary foul is still a foul.
But I don't like. There's no push.
I mean, he trips up the Osasuna. The reason the Osasuna player falls into Jean Garcia, you could say that's involuntary too. But he's tripped up by Koundé.
Right. So their legs get tangled up involuntarily. I mean, I guess, yeah. If right, both actions are involuntary. Probably the goal should have stood then. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I think so. This would have been the 1-1.
So, I'm curious to get your thoughts on Laporta's court appearance because I'm just trying to understand. Because correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like every single president is passing the buck to the previous regime. So Laporta is saying that these payments were made before he came in, and both help me with the names. Was it Rosé and Bartomeu said the same thing? I think the last one that needs to speak is Gaspar, which is the guy who they're trying to push it on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has spoken.
Gaspar hasn't appeared yet. I don't
Right.
believe. No.
I wonder what he's gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really fully realize this, but the payment actually increased over time, like the amount that they were paying Negreira.
Mm-hmm.
Which to me, like, I know, like you said, it's sketchy, but not to get favored by the referees. It's not adding up to me. They're saying it was for reports, but they can't show the reports. And then conveniently, it's like, oh yeah, we destroyed those after 5 years. And it's and that's it. Like it just ends there.
Like I said from the beginning, I don't think that these payments were made for reports. I don't know what exact statements you want me to go over from Laporta, but what I got in passing is that both Ernesto Valverde and Luis Enrique never saw the refereeing reports,
Yeah.
which kind of, I guess, give validity, let's say, to my suspicion that these payments were made for refereeing reports. I continue to stand by my assumption that there was disloyal business administration practices taking place, where the individuals involved were effectively stealing money from the club for their own benefit, and they were using the company of Negreira to launder, to whitewash the money, and again benefit themselves.
It doesn't add up. I don't know. It doesn't add up. Like, why Negreira? I've asked you this question before. Like, why, if they're gonna launder the money, why go
Mm.
through the vice president of the referee?
I mean, what?
Uh,
Why? I don't like that. That sure you can ask why.
why would you go to the referees to do this and not like anything else? Spotify. I mean, I wasn't
Because
Spotify at that time,
you're gonna do Swedish. You
but
need a
like
corrupt company, first
but
of all. You need
you could
Spotify
literally
or
you
Swedish.
could literally report losses in the Camp Nou store. You could do. There's so many things in money laundering you could do
But I
apart from
think
going
for
to the referees.
an auditing company, that would mean that would be easier to detect. I think if you're going to make, you don't want these payments to be detected, right? You're going to try to find a loophole, somebody that is willing to play game, that is also going to be benefiting from it. I mean, why Negreira? I don't have an answer to that question. It's kind of like, why is Mejia Davila, former referee, now the go-to person for Real Madrid, while his wife, Yolanda Parga, is a sitting representative in the CTA? There's a clear conflict of interest. Why these two people that are so
That's
closely
not the same
linked to
thing.
Real
That's
Madrid?
not the
How
same
can they
thing
be in
at
such
all.
positions of power? I mean, you're gonna ask why. I don't know. Is why
Jamie
Negreira?
Ruris. Jamie Ruris. You could
Jama
we've been down
Rodas,
this path again.
Jama Rodas.
We've been
What? And
down
your
this
point
path.
being what? The person that provides the
My
technology,
point is that, well, first of all, he's a Barca socio
right?
and he is in charge of the
Like
VAR.
like like Tebas is a socio of Madrid,
But
like Lozan is a
that's
socio
my
of Madrid.
exactly. But that's the point I always make. In
Mm,
Spain, you're either a Real Madrid fan or a Barcelona fan. So you
mm,
either have to clean slate and bring in outsource everything from a different country, or you're just gonna have to come to this reality.
mm.
Tebas, don't get me fucking started on Tebas. He
He's your
could
boy.
be on his knees begging, like just pleading, "I'm Madridista," and I would literally just laugh at him, like, "Dude, just go back to where you were because
Well, he is.
you're the
He,
worst president
he
in
is.
sports history." And he hasn't spoken a word to Florentino Perez in years. He
That
hates
doesn't
the
matter.
man.
He still earns from the club. He still earns from the club. He's still like on the payroll of Real Madrid. He is. He gives classes in Real Madrid University, bro. Look
I
it
love it.
up.
I love it.
Look it up.
Somehow this turned this Barca paying Negreira turned into Tebas being a Madridista.
I'm just highlighting. No, I'm asking,
Hey
rhetorical
Tebas,
questions.
if you're a Madridista, please do something for us, man. Give us
Oh,
something.
he does
Give us
plenty.
something. Give
He
us a
does plenty.
bone.
All the
Stop trying to be
penalties in the
against
world.
us.
Come on, man.
Worst
Don't.
Madridista ever.
No. The biggest Madridista, one of many in a long
Yeah.
line
All
of
right. So
always pro
can
Real
we go
Madrid
back to the subject
presidents.
at hand, please? Can we go
So,
back?
well, I answered your question. Why Negreira? I don't know why Negreira. That's for the judge to find out.
There is the judge. I don't know what the
Negreira
judge
was
is gonna
willing to
find out.
play ball, and Negreira was happy to be helping the sitting presidents do something with that money. I agree. It's not normal that Barca was paying money to one of the three vice presidents of the CTA, and I don't like it. It's dodgy. It's shady. Um, and I want to get to the bottom of it. I want to know what was happening, why these payments were made, for what they were made. I
So
cannot
then
see. I cannot see these payments being made to referees to help us by any means, any stretch of the imagination.
there's
It's
no
just
other reason
impossible.
to pay them.
It's
There's no other
impossible.
reason. There's no other reason.
Yeah, of course there
There's
is.
literally no other reason.
There is
There
disloyal
is.
business administration, so that
That's
people are benefited
that's such a
personally.
weird cop out. I don't there's no other reason you
It's
would
not a
go
cop
through.
out right
There's
now, dude. It's almost been 4 years. Do you realize?
yeah. What
And
does
the
that have to
evidence
do with
all
anything?
points to that there is no proof of bribery.
Because the
So as
only way you can prove it is one of those referee comes out and admits to it, which they won't because they'll be thrown in jail.
that's not true, Keon. That's not
Okay,
true.
it's not true.
No, because you could get a whistleblower coming out, like we have seen in the past take place with Real Madrid, where referees have openly talked about the pressures that they received from the club or favors that they've received from the club.
Once again, you cannot answer the question without bringing up Real Madrid. This
I, d-
is
I do answer the question, bro.
you no, you
You
don't.
want me to say that we bribe referees, and I'm not going to say that. I'll let you guys say that, and your president say that, and your TV stations say that in a mantra until the lie becomes a truth on a daily basis. They can't shut up about it. Neither
So
can the
then
newspapers.
you do
So,
agree that
and
Laporta's
I actually believe, or somewhat believe, hope to believe in the due process and innocent until proven guilty type scenario where I want to get to the bottom of it. I want to get to the end of it. I want to know what it was for. I don't like it. It is a business practice that has got many question marks around it, but it's
so,
impossible. I wholeheartedly do not believe that we were paying off referees, because throughout these 17 years, I was glued to the screen and watching Barça matches on a weekly basis, and we were never
and
benefited the same way that Real Madrid have been benefited.
stop.
Over all these.
The evidence is there, bro. The evidence is
No,
there.
it's not. The
It is.
evidence is that you got
But
benefit.
so do you do agree that Laporta's lying here?
Well, what did he say? I asked you
Well,
what
he's
statements has he made that you want me to comment on?
well, he said that when he came over, he didn't really have control over these payments because they were already being made, but also they just were continued to be made under each regime, even though the presidents came in, they didn't know it.
Yeah,
That
this
doesn't
was
mean
like a standard practice. This was a practice that was in place for all those presidents that were then in this era. Yeah, the seating presidents. Yeah.
right. So if you're saying that it's money laundering and not
Mm,
reports,
mm,
then if he says it was reports, then he's
mm,
lying.
yeah, of course. That would make him a liar in this case. Yes.
But it also makes him culpable, complicit. He can't
Of
blame it on the past regime if he comes in and says it's
course,
reports. Then
absolutely. Especially if he benefited from it, which I would tend to believe that. Yeah.
so how could you possibly take issue with another club in the league being so upset about this? They have a right to be upset.
I think. I mean, culés
Real
need to
Madrid
be
is the
upset
only
about it
club that
first of
has the power to maybe do something about it. But like if this is happening, then it affects the whole league, then they have a right to like be upset and make these statements and be present in the court.
No, I don't think they need to be present in anything, and I think they need to.
Well, they
It's
obviously, I mean,
obviously.
they
I mean, I get
Real
the
Madrid's legal
strategy
representatives
behind it.
were in.
I get the strategy behind it. I get that they want to use this and continue the mantra on a daily basis to say that, we were paying off, bribing referees and paying off referees with this, with these systematic payments. I get it, but I think it's also a way to deflect the attention from all the internal institutional issues that they have and all the shady businesses that they have been participating in,
Okay.
and that this suits them down to the ground. This is, great ammunition for them. Yes. Do I
So,
think that is? It was, again. I'm going to insist. These payments were made to bribe referees. No.
okay, that's your opinion. You could be proven wrong on that, or you
Mm,
could be proven right. I don't know.
mm,
But certainly, like if there is a chance that this was happening, which
mm.
obviously there is a chance it was happening, then the other club should be up in arms about it. I
I
don't
think
think.
Culés first and foremost. I think we should feel
Nah, man.
cheated, hugely cheated.
Kool-Aid should feel cheated
Absolutely.
by who?
Well, by if this turns out to be true, we are the first ones that should be in up in,
Oh,
and we will be
okay. Well,
up in
we'll
arms.
see if we'll see about that. We'll see. I mean,
No,
maybe
we actually
you're an
practice
exception, maybe, but
self-criticism here. We don't just
okay.
follow a dictator and his one word, the owner of your club that has
That's
been.
why you only have 5 Champions League titles. You don't have a dictator.
That's right.
You need to up your dictatorship game, bro.
That's right. And we need to come up with our own competition and choose our own rivals, and
Or
uh,
or you
get a
could
few
be
more.
purchased by a Saudi sheikh. That seems like an option that I heard about today. Someone sent me
Hey,
that
what's up
today.
with that? Yeah, the
I don't
king of
know.
Saudi Arabia.
Is it worth it? How much money is it?
I don't. I mean, this was in passing. I think 12 billion, but this sounds like an absolute made up rumor. I don't know who reported it.
I
Curious
don't
to
know
find
either.
out more about
I
it
don't know if it was
and
involved.
see.
Theoretically, if it was that kind of money, would you be happy or sad as a Barca fan?
Uh, I mean, I I don't like it. I certainly don't like the idea of us losing our current model where the socios are in charge. Let's say the have a say in a democratized club and the affairs of the club. That would go away, and that, of course, as maybe romanticized of an idea that continues to be, it's still something that I hold on to. The same, for example, with the shirt sponsor. I always liked the fact that Barça were basically the only big club that were not playing with a sponsor until we had UNICEF, which was like the gateway to then eventually bring in the money that we needed to compete. And I do think that this is an inevitability. I think we're seeing it with Real Madrid. They're already in the advanced latter stages of this actually taking place. Some sort of a takeover from a sheikh, an oligarch, whoever it will be, U.S. cowboy tycoon. We'll have to wait and see. But so yeah, I think in the future it'll be inevitable. But I need to read the conditions, man. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I'm looking at the newspapers now, and they are not reporting it. So I'm gonna just slam it down shut and say that this was just a made up rumor for the time being, at least.
Okay. There's 3 super chats. You got
Mm.
time?
Hmm.
First of all, guys, Diego is co-streaming this on his channel. Make sure to go subscribe to Diego's channel. It's D Spot. He puts out a lot of content, Barca content specifically. So especially if you're a Barca fan, but even if you're a Madridista, go there and show some love, like and subscribe to his channel.
Thank you, thank you,
Um,
thank you. And I want to welcome any of the new subscribers. This is a weekly live stream, Churros y Tacticas, that we do. So yeah, make sure you hit the bell notification because we usually record on a Monday or Tuesday, but you don't want to miss out on these debates between the merengue and a culé.
uh, Jin Simp for 2878 says, honest question, why does Vinny start at this point? Every game he is horrendous. I don't think this guy would last long any other top club. Well, I think the answer is 2 or threefold. One is that Vinicius, even when he doesn't play well, he is a moments player, as we saw yesterday. I'm not saying he should start. I certainly think, based on meritocracy, he deserves to come off the bench in certain situations. I wouldn't banish him, but I do think like you can remind him that there's competition. The second thing is that I think it's also very difficult to bench him, politically speaking. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. This is a World Cup question. Honor Bound says, between Portugal, France, Brazil, who wouldn't you rather we choose for the World Cup final? Do you understand what's being asked? Because I'm not sure I do. Who wouldn't you rather we choose?
Okay. So which team do we not want to make the final, basically.
out of these three? Portugal, France, and Brazil. This is a
Well, I'll
very,
go for
very
Portugal,
specific,
obviously.
random question. Why?
It is. Well, I don't want, this whole Cristiano winning a World Cup thing, that leaves that something lingering, that little candle that is kindled within the heart of you to continue the GOAT debate.
I mean, the GOAT
That would
debate's
obviously
already settled, but
reignite it.
this would cement it if he won the World Cup. He would bolt it
He
down.
wouldn't even have to play.
It
He
wouldn't
would
even be open.
cement it for you.
You wouldn't even be able to open the GOAT debate after that.
Like it is now. It is a done and dusted debate. I mean, it's so obvious.
I don't have any preference or prejudice against any of these teams. For me personally, I'd love to see Cristiano in the World Cup final. I'd love to see Mbappe, Tchouaméni, Camavinga. I'd love to see Vinicius, Rodrigo, Militao. So I don't know.
Bro, Florentin, I'm just reading some of these statements now. Him constantly mentioning Negreira, dude. It's so desperate though, man. Like this
how?
of
It's not.
Florentino, like trying to deflect the attention away from the
No,
fucking
man, stop.
internal turmoil that is
No,
currently happening at
no.
Real Madrid by constantly pointing the finger at
We
Negreira
would.
when his
We were.
team
No.
and talking about referees on a daily fucking basis, dude. You guys are the most benefited club in the history of football.
Opposite.
History of football. There's no club that has been more benefited than Real Madrid. And you guys are like crying about it on a daily basis, man.
This is
It
gaslighting.
is unbelievable.
This is gaslighting.
It is
But I do agree with you that we need to stop talking about it because it's actually doing it worse because the referees are coming out and punishing us for talking so much shit. We were as bad as we were last season. We could have won the league if not for the 3 games after the open letter where they literally bent us over and effed us for 3 games straight. And then the referee coming out, the guy who disallowed Vinny's penalty, who didn't call the guy in the VAR room yesterday, was the same who cried in the press conference and said, "We're going to send them a message." Listen. We need
penalty. Like
what?
Vinny went down. Vinny went down happily as fuck, thinking that
he got
was going to
fouled.
get another
So why
penalty
wouldn't you
for
go down
diving.
when you get fouled?
Man, like we've seen those not get called in the
That's
game
a
against
foul. I don't care
Osasuna.
what gets called and what doesn't
We
get
didn't
called.
get
That's
it
a
called.
foul.
We didn't get that called neither. Like
So what? You got Espanyol player got a red card for shoving Lamine Yamal, but when Bellingham gets elbowed and he has blood running down his face, there's nothing.
How's it elbowed Cubarsí on the 2-1 in the Clásico and nothing was called?
We can play this game all day long.
All day.
We could.
I remind you, we tried to make a spreadsheet that you bailed on big time.
I literally updated it today. I didn't bail.
You update? Why you never bring up the spreadsheet? I didn't know you're still updating that.
Well, I have to go basically rewrite half of the stuff your buddy puts in there because it's all nonsense and one-sided. No. He even literally writes ha 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 inside the spreadsheet. He writes that. I can't deal with this immaturity, man. Willard3401 says, Keon asked Diego why FC Barcelona and Atletico Madrid is voting Tebas as president and Real Madrid and Athletic are not.
Go and ask me.
Diego, why are Barcelona and Atletico Madrid voting Tebas as president and Real Madrid and Athletic are not?
Willard, next time go to my channel, give me that nice generous donations that you're giving your boy here to ask me fucking questions. Listen, that Tebas and Florentino have a little bit of a personal spat. Sure, whatever. He's still a Madridista, like they all are, like they always have been. And he's on the payroll from Real Madrid University. You don't believe me? Go look it up.
That's not what the question was. What's the answer to this question?
Why Barça and Atletico Madrid are voting for Tebas and Madrid aren't? Because there's some little bitchy personal spat between him and Florentino, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Madrid would have also been voting for him if it weren't just
so Barca are happy with Tebas?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, it must be. All right. Summarize. Let's summarize this podcast. It's all Real Madrid's fault.
No,
Barca
no,
are
no.
big chumps.
It's all
No, no, it
Negreira.
is. It's
All
true. No, you're
Negreira.
right.
All
You
the
were right. I
referees are
was
Negreira. No, no,
no,
no.
no.
Just
Listen, listen. I was busting your
no.
balls, bro. I know
Florentino
Real Madrid are corrupt and evil. We have a
say,
dictator. It's all
Florentino
we're
said,
Barcelona
Merry
are big chumps.
Christmas. Let's
Barcelona
talk
are big
about
chumps.
Negreira. Merry Christmas, everybody. Hey, what's up with the Bernabeu? The cost Negreira. Come on, man. Even you have to see through this farce of fucking tactic of just
Yeah,
deviating the attention and keeping a
yeah. Big
narrative.
Negreira, big farce for sure. Big farce. Yeah,
4 years,
that's
baby.
exact.
Three,
It's
four
a
years.
farce.
Nothing is proven. How are things? How are things at home? How are things at home?
Fantastic. You want to look
No,
at?
no. I don't mean your home. I mean in the
Oh,
Bernabeu.
oh, I was getting excited. I wanted to show you the view right now,
That
outside.
you showed me that. I love that. Winter Wonderland.
Winter Wonderland, baby.
That is lovely. So what is that Celsius? What is the temperature at?
I don't know, like minus, probably like -10 or some shit. I don't know. I didn't look.
Yikes. Yeah, bitter cold, huh?
Yeah.
Mm, enjoy
Um.
it.
So, what's today?
Today's
Monday.
Monday. Yeah,
We're gonna be
yeah.
back Thursday for our
Indeed.
patrons over on patreon.com/churros y tacticas, where you actually don't need to answer to send super chats because we answer every single question if you're a patron. So it's literally actually what's funny, these super chats that came in today.
You know what? Hold on a second. Let me give you a more satisfying answer from a Barca perspective.
Okay.
Why is Laporta continuing to vote Tebas? I'll tell you my answer. I have no fucking clue. And I also find that highly suspicious. I don't understand why we know that Tebas was showing confidential information in terms of the club's finances to Athletic Club de Bilbao, and Laporta seemingly being totally fine with that, while that being utterly illegal and going against the constitutes the laws of La Liga to do so. Why, Laporta, are you not going against that? Why are you not more vocal when pressing Tebas? Those are serious questions that I have, and I just don't have the answer. But I find it highly sus.
Agree. All right. So guys, we'll be back. What I was gonna say is that the cost of the super chat is the cost of a patron membership.
Yeah, man.
And you just pay it once and you can ask us as many questions as you can, and we have to answer your question because that's the rule if you're a patron, and because we also love answering your questions. So you can literally submit any controversial question you want. You can, if there's something you want to corner me and Diego on, you can feel free. One more at the buzzer. Anthony Tharp says, if Carlo Ancelotti wins the World Cup, could he be considered the best manager of all time? Yeah, definitely. I think you could argue he already is. If he wins the World Cup, he already has 5 Champions League titles. Thoughts?
He's up there with the most successful. That's undeniable, and this will be an unbelievably big cherry on top of the cake. In terms of the best, I mean his football is effective and, like I said, successful. I don't think it's the best to watch. No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Let's wrap
You
it up
enjoy
here.
you enjoy an Angelotti ball. Sorry, I forgot. You're a huge proponent of Angelotti
Some of
ball.
my best memories as a football fan were Ancelotti ball. Yeah, some of
Okay.
them.
This is the man that called for him to be sacked. You miraculously and flukishly went on to win the Champions League. You were then raising him up on your shoulder again to then only demand him sacking the following season
Yeah,
again.
because
Just hugely inconsistent.
because
When it comes
each
to
no,
football, I
no,
don't like Angelotti ball. It's not
no.
a brand of
eh,
football that I enjoy watching. I can say that.
each cycle has to come to an end and new cycles begin. Some of my favorite football ever as a fan was also Mourinho's 2012, Del Bosque's 2002, 2003, but they don't stay forever. They can't stay forever. That's not contradicting.
I think it is. Also, I mean, you calling, at the time Mourinho
All
one of the best
right.
managers. Where is he now? Where's Mourinho now?
what is that? That's like
If
saying
he was, if he
that's
was
like
the best manager, Mourinho
when
played
did
a
I say he was the
destructive
best
brand of
manager?
football
What?
at the time. At the time,
Yeah.
you
So
were.
what? That was almost 15 years ago.
Yeah, but where is he
You
now?
wanted.
He himself said, "I will never manage smaller teams." He was bigging himself up to be
I
the best
don't know.
manager.
That's out of my
Over
hands. What does it have to do with
time,
what I'm
Father
saying?
Time is undefeated and is
Uh,
proven to put Mourinho in his place.
I never disagreed with that. What are you talking about? At the
I don't know.
time, the greatest offensive team of all time was Mourinho's 2011-2012 team ever. It was the greatest offensive team we've ever seen in football history. It's not going to continue forever. That's like saying, where is Di Stefano now? Well, Di Stefano passed away.
You
Like,
cannot
what
call
is that? Just
Mourinho's team the greatest offensive footballing team of
statistically
all
speaking,
time,
it
bro.
was not debatable.
Statistically speaking, but,
Yeah.
okay, well,
We've never seen a team that devastating before offensively ever.
that's an insane take.
Unparalleled. There's been nothing like it. I don't think we'll ever see anything like it again.
That's a crazy take, man.
Where is Johan Cruyff? Where is he now?
May he rest in peace. What do you mean? Where is he now?
Okay. I thought things just last forever. Sorry.
May he well, his legacy certainly does. Excuse me, Pep Guardiola, company, Arteta, Hansi Flick, Luis Enrique. Excuse me, his legacy. The pupils of Johan Cruyff certainly continue the legacy. Put you with your little smirk, your arrogant smirk. Where's the Mourinho? Where are the childs of Mourinho? Where are the Angelotti kids? Where are they? Where are they? Come on, bro.
I love the way you
You're not
cope
gonna
with
get this
these
one over
things.
me.
You guys
No
pat
chance.
yourself on the back.
No, but it's
We
true.
have
It's a
disciples.
legacy.
The
Yes,
tree.
we do.
We play great
Absolutely.
football.
Absolutely. Well,
You
you
guys
ask
play
them.
good
You
football
ask those
once every 10
managers.
years,
You
and you
ask
pat
those
yourselves on the
managers.
back.
You ask those managers in the next press conference. Who was your big idol? Who was your
Many of them
influence? Your
actually
biggest
would say Carlo
influence?
Ancelotti. Actually,
Oh my
the two most successful coaches in NBA history and football history
God. Say
have
Angelotti.
this. Ancelotti and Phil Jackson. They have the same
Get
principles.
the fuck out of here, dude. Even Steve Kerr said like he wanted to play like Barça. Even yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Who cares what
Yes, he
Steve
did.
Kerr said? Steve
Steph
Kerr
Curry.
is
Ask
not the
Steph
greatest
Curry.
coach in NBA history. Phil Jackson is.
Steph Curry. Steph Curry. Not one of the greatest players. Come on, man.
What is
I know
happening right
it's
now? What is
Ancelotti and
happening?
Mourinho.
Oh my
That
God.
you're being disrespectful. You're being downright
I need to go have
disrespectful.
a debate with my 8-year-old after this to wash my soul, to cleanse, to cleanse.
Your
This is
disrespect will not
insane.
stand here, my
It's like
friend.
I say one thing and then something else completely unrelated just
No,
pops up.
it's not true. I just
Steve
you
Kerr.
asked me a question. Where's Johan Cruyff? And I gave you 5 names, man. Where are the Mourinho's disciples? Where are they? Where are the Angelotti disciples? They're not there, bro. It's true.
God help me.
Join us on Thursday. Join
God
us
help
on
me.
Thursday.
Somebody, please. God help
Somebody,
me.
please.
Pray for my soul, please.
Madridistas, come over to the D Spot side. Let's have some more fun. We're growing. Fastest growing Barca community on the interwebs.
All right, guys. We'll see you on Thursday. Thanks for being part of this alive in this silly podcast. Appreciate your time. And we got some Copa del Rey games to talk about on Thursday, and we'll also
Yes,
take your
of
questions.
course.
All right. Take care,
All
guys.
right.
Peace out. Thanks, Diego.
Peace, peace.